That's not coincidence. That's design. Machiavelli knew the secret. Aura is the unseen weapon of rulers. Today, you'll learn how to build yours. Power doesn't always come from action. Sometimes it comes from stillness that feels like a storm. Machiavelli mastered the art of controlling people by controlling how they felt in his presence. That pressure in the room, that weight in the air, that's aura. And if you build it right, people follow, hesitate, obey, without ever knowing why. What if your presence alone could make people second-guess their confidence? What if your silence could strip them of control? Machiavelli understood one brutal truth. The man who controls the atmosphere controls the outcome. If you want to stop being ignored and start being obeyed, don't raise your voice. Raise your presence. The man who doesn't flinch terrifies everyone else. Machiavelli knew that aura is built in how you don't react, in how your calmness unnerves, how your stillness dominates. When you stop trying to impress and start mastering your energy, you become what they can't shake off. Today, I'll show you how to become that man. Niccolò Machiavelli once wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Those words weren't poetic. They were surgical. A warning to never reveal your core. Because the moment they know you, they can predict you. And if they can predict you, they can control you. Your aura is not built on truth. It is built on the illusion of truth. Carefully crafted, ruthlessly maintained. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be misinterpreted, misread, and still obeyed. The common man seeks connection. He wants to be known, liked, embraced. But a Machiavellian sees the trap. Visibility is vulnerability. Transparency is a liability. What they see of you must be a shadow, not a mirror. If they can read your face, they can prepare. If they can predict your actions, they can neutralize you. That is how kings fall and pawns win. Not by strength, but by expectation. You will never let them expect you. Mystery is your armor. You do not owe clarity, you owe effect. Speak in fragments. Leave your sentences half-built. Make your thoughts look like riddles. Let them finish them for you. They'll fill in the gaps with their own fears. And here's the twist. The version of you they invent will always be more powerful than the version you could ever explain. You don't need to be trusted. You need to be unreadable. Trust is a leash. Mystery is a weapon. Let them guess. Let them whisper. Let them argue about what you meant. While they're busy decoding you, they've already submitted to your presence. Never correct their assumptions. If they think you're kind, let them. If they think you're cruel, let them. If they think you're indifferent, smile, then disappear. Because the moment they ask, what is he really thinking? You've already won. Change your rhythm often. Speak boldly one day, vanish the next. Be warm for a moment, then cold for a week. Let them feel like they almost figured you out. Then become someone else entirely. Machiavelli knew that rulers should not be known. They should be imagined. You don't want to live in their memory. You want to live in their uncertainty. Control perception by giving them nothing clear to hold on to. Because when they can't define you, they can't dismiss you. They can't box you in. They can't fight what they can't see. Withdraw strategically. Disappear when expected. Show up when least convenient. Shift your tone, your look, your energy. Not because you're lost, but because you're always becoming. Fluidity is dominance. Predictability is death. And when they confront you, when they demand clarity, say nothing, or say something so vague it sounds like truth but solves nothing. Speak like fog, present but untouchable. Say, "You already know the answer," or "What makes you think I didn't plan this?" These lines create doubt. They sow fear. They return power to you. Even your silence must speak. Let your lack of explanation haunt them. Let your unpredictability shape their behavior. They will begin to adapt to your mood. They will learn to move around your presence. They will anticipate your reactions, even when you offer none. This is how aura becomes control. When people begin adjusting themselves to your imagined expectations. Never be who they think you are. Never finish the story they start. Always change chapters before they're done reading the last. Aura dies in repetition. So reinvent, evolve. Eliminate old versions of yourself like kings eliminate threats. Quickly, quietly, and without regret. You are not a person in their eyes. You are a possibility, a question, an atmosphere, a fear they cannot shake. That is power, because the ones who cannot be read cannot be resisted. Aura begins before a single word is spoken, before your mouth opens, before your eyes make contact. It begins with silence, with stillness, with the pause that enters a room when you do, and makes everyone else forget what they were just talking about. In a world that performs, you must be felt, not seen, not heard, felt. Niccolo Machiavelli never begged for attention. He engineered it. He understood that true influence starts with perception. Most people mistake volume for power. But the ones who truly dominate, they speak less and command more. Presence is not about what you say. It's about what your existence does to other people. It's psychological, a game of tension and suggestion. A presence so potent it bends the mood of the room before you say a single word. You must subtract, not add. Most people walk into a room and try to fill it with noise, with jokes, with energy. They want to be liked. They want approval. But approval is for the weak. You don't want approval. You want tension. You want silence when you arrive. You want them to glance, then glance again. You want their rhythm disturbed, their instincts triggered. The trick? Stillness. Stillness is unsettling. Most people fidget, twitch, overshare, overperform. But you sit still. You speak slowly. You move as if the world can wait. You occupy space like someone who owns time. That's power. It begins with your walk. Not rushed, not energetic, deliberate. Every step says, "I'm not in a hurry, because I'm not chasing anything." You don't chase, you attract. You don't react, you observe. Your posture is straight, not stiff, composed. Your hands don't move unnecessarily. Your head doesn't dart. You're not searching for attention. You are the attention. Dress like your presence is worth something. Not loud, not flashy, sharp, calculated. Every piece you wear should say, "This person doesn't need to prove anything." You're not competing with the loud. You're disarming them by not trying. Most people wear brands to be seen. You wear silence to be remembered. And when you finally do speak, make it slow, controlled. No filler words, no nervous laughter. Speak like someone who weighs their words, because each word costs something. Don't rush to answer. Let silence do the work. The longer your pause, the more weight your answer carries. Let them feel the gap before your voice enters. It creates anticipation, suspense, fear even. That is aura. Do not smile by default. Default smiles signal weakness, a plea for acceptance. Your face should rest in calm authority, not aggressive, not unfriendly, just unreadable, because unreadable people are unforgettable. And here's the secret Machiavelli knew. When people can't read you, they obsess over you. Their minds fill in the blanks. They build stories. They create myth. And the myth becomes more powerful than truth ever could. When you walk into a room, don't try to connect. Let them come to you. If you try to join their rhythm, you've already submitted. You set the rhythm. Make them adjust their energy to yours. You're not cold. You're composed. You're not distant. You're dangerous. Your presence should disturb something primal in them. Not fear exactly, but uncertainty, curiosity, respect that borders on anxiety. They shouldn't know whether they want your approval or your protection. They should only know that you matter. And above all, be consistent. Aura is not a performance you put on for moments. It's an atmosphere you live inside. It's the weight of who you are, even when no one's watching. Because especially when no one's watching, that's when your discipline is forged. Never try to be interesting. Be controlled. Be sharp. Be precise. Because Machiavellian presence is not about being seen all the time. It's about being remembered all the time. So stop trying to be everywhere. Be rare. Be slow. Be still. And watch how the world starts to orbit around you. Power that is easy to access is power that is easy to ignore. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. Value is an illusion, and illusions must be constructed. If you are always present, always available, always agreeable, you become common. And commonness is the graveyard of power. Let fools offer themselves to the world. Let the desperate advertise their emotions, their time, their presence. You are not one of them. You are rare, and you must act like it. The powerful never chase. They attract. They are not reached. They are sought after. You must become expensive, not in wealth, in energy. Interacting with you should feel like a privilege earned, not a casual encounter. Your attention must feel expensive, because that's what makes people crave it. You don't smile for free. You don't offer your opinion easily. You don't stay in places too long. You arrive when you choose and disappear without warning. The mystery of your presence is worth more than the noise of their existence. Stop replying instantly. Stop showing up everywhere. Stop making yourself a predictable fixture in anyone's life. Predictability breeds comfort, and comfort destroys reverence. You want to be loved? Let them miss you. You want to be respected? Let them feel your absence. The more they see you, the less they feel you. So withdraw, strategically, casually, ruthlessly, not with malice, with indifference, with precision. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler should aim to be feared more than loved. But the true genius lies in being talked about more than being seen, in becoming the silent topic of conversation, the ghost that governs the room in absence. That is the aura of the rare. They should wonder, where is he? Why doesn't he speak more? Why doesn't he look at me the way others do? These questions are not annoyances. They are the seeds of obsession, and you must feed them, subtly. Show interest briefly, then retreat. Compliment once, then turn cold. Give them presents, then take it away. Not to be cruel, but to train them, to teach them that your attention is not a currency thrown to beggars. It is a kingdom, and entry must be earned. The moment you become too easy to reach, you become too easy to dismiss. Your energy must feel like a limited resource, a thing not everyone gets, a room with velvet ropes, a name spoken with caution. You are not the celebration. You are the standard, the measure, the invisible pressure that makes people rise or shrink. Even in love, in friendship, in business, your scarcity will determine your status. You do not call often. You do not check in. You do not overshare. You do not explain your silence. That silence is the message. People crave what they cannot predict, what they cannot hold, what disappears too quickly to define. That must be you. Do not mistake this for arrogance. Arrogance demands attention. But aura withdraws it. You don't need applause. You need silence when you enter a room. You don't need validation. You need conversation to pause in your presence. This is not narcissism. This is dominance. Psychological, tactical, unapologetic. They must work for you. And when they think they've earned a piece of you, vanish again. Not to punish, but to remind them. You are not a gift to be possessed. You are a force to be pursued. Your time is not free. Your eyes are not free. Your opinion is not free. Everything about you must feel earned. And once it's earned, it must never be taken for granted. That is how you make power expensive. Not by screaming, not by demanding, but by being the rarest presence in every room. And the absence they can't stop noticing. Aura is not personal. It's environmental. Most people walk into a room and join it. They adapt to the temperature, the tone, the rhythm already established. But Machiavellian presence is the opposite. You don't adapt. You infect. You don't just exist in a room. You control it. When you enter, you are not reacting to the energy. You are reshaping it. Subtly, quietly, completely. Others laugh loudly. You don't. Others panic. You stay still. Others try to command attention. You never even ask for it. Yet it bends to you. Why? Because aura is atmospheric. It's not about what you say. It's what the air does when you appear. You must be calm when others unravel. You must be silent when others ramble. You must look like you know something they don't. Because you do. Control is never loud. Machiavelli understood the psychology of power better than any war general. He knew that people naturally submit to the one who appears unshaken. If you can remain composed when chaos erupts, they'll start looking to you for direction, even if you give none. Your greatest weapon in any room is stillness. It's unnatural. It makes people uncomfortable. They begin projecting meaning onto your silence, onto your still eyes, your steady posture. They wonder, is he judging, calculating, planning? They'll invent threats. They'll assign you power just to make sense of how unmoved you are. Use that. Do not compete for the spotlight. The sun does not explain itself to candles. Let them burn themselves out trying to be heard. You will remain unaffected, unimpressed, absolute. You must treat the room like a battlefield. And on this battlefield, your weapon is not your voice. It's emotional control. Mood is domination. If they feel nervous, confused, overexcited, and you stay indifferent, you win. Even your body language must serve your strategy. Sit as if you've already conquered the conversation. Don't flinch when challenged. Don't nod too often. Don't lean in like a beggar for connection. Let them lean into you. Let your eyes scan the room like you're measuring it. Not seeking approval, not searching for friends, but studying, like a ruler calculating the weaknesses in his court. Speak when necessary. And when you do, speak like someone who assumes his words will change the temperature of the room. Because if your presence has weight, your voice becomes command. Even the way you end conversations matters. Never linger. End with purpose, as if your time is too valuable to waste. Stand like someone others wait for, not someone who waits to be heard. And if someone attempts to dominate the room with ego, humor, or status, don't fight them. Let them overexpose themselves. Let them brag. Let them reveal their need for validation. And then, say something simple, quiet, cutting, and fall back into silence. That silence will echo louder than their entire performance. You don't need to match the energy in the room. You set it. You decide whether it feels tense, cold, intimate, or dangerous. This is the highest form of social control, environmental leadership without declaration. They shouldn't know why the air feels heavier when you're there. They shouldn't know why they sit straighter, talk slower, hesitate before speaking. They just will. That's aura. And Machiavelli would tell you this: he who shapes the atmosphere shapes the decisions made within it. People don't follow reason. They follow energy. They obey the one who feels like he's already won, and the one who's already won doesn't speak to prove it. He just exists, quietly, unshaken, like gravity. So don't try to be the center of attention. Be the one who owns the energy that surrounds it. When people enter your space, let them feel the difference. Let them adjust to you, your pace, your tone, your silence. You are not another voice in the chaos. You are the tension they didn't expect, the stillness they can't ignore. That is how you bend the room to your will, without lifting a single finger. The most powerful ruler is the one you never see giving orders, but you still follow. True Machiavellian aura is not theatrical. It is not loud, not boastful. It doesn't demand obedience. It invites it. It seeps into the mind, twists perception, rewrites the rules of the room until people conform without realizing they're bending to your will. That's the final form of aura. Silent tyranny. You don't dominate by force. You dominate by presence, by expectation, by invisible gravity, like a king whose crown is never seen, only felt. The world teaches people to command with words, to assert power with noise. But noise is resistance. Noise is struggle. The higher game is to control without effort, to influence without command, to dominate without appearing to do so. And it begins by planting a single idea. You are the one they must align with. You never beg. You never plead. You never convince. Instead, you become the standard they calibrate themselves to. The tone they imitate. The pace they follow. The approval they quietly chase. Let your actions be few, but definitive. Let your gaze be rare, but piercing. Let your attention feel like a spotlight from the heavens, warming when it's on them, freezing when it's not. People follow power because it feels inevitable. You must become inevitable. Even when you are silent, your preferences should echo. Even when you are gone, your presence must shape decisions. They should hesitate and ask themselves, what would he think? Not because you told them, but because your energy still lingers in the room. Be the phantom ruler of every social structure you enter. Not the face of control, the spirit of it. To do this, you must kill the need for validation completely. You don't rise when they praise you. You don't flinch when they criticize you. You're beyond emotion, beyond the petty friction of approval. You act with such internal certainty that others question their own thoughts just standing next to you. The highest form of influence is when people think it was their idea. So never push. Only pull. Lead through questions, through silence, through reactions so minimal they become mirrors for the other person's conscience. Make people unsure of what you want, but desperate to provide it. Not because you said so, but because something in your calm, unreadable presence made them want to obey. And when they displease you, you don't rage, you don't explain, you simply withdraw. Cold, clean, final. And they will feel the loss like a guillotine fell without warning. Because once someone has felt your aura, your absence becomes punishment enough. That is the power of the silent tyrant. You don't impose laws. You are the law. Not through threat, but through necessity. People will adjust to your energy like planets to a sun. And when they forget your value, you vanish. Let them suffocate in the vacuum you leave behind. When they beg for your return, you'll know you never had to speak to rule them. You ruled them the moment they changed for you, without knowing why. That is Machiavellian aura. Not a performance, a presence, not charisma, command, not control by force, but control through silence so complete they call it respect. Let the others chase applause. You will become the gravity they orbit, the voice they never heard, but always followed. And if you want more ruthless truths like this, if you want to sharpen your mind, harden your presence, and build a power that doesn't fade under pressure, then don't just watch, subscribe, like. Stay hidden, but never forget. The real kings never need a throne to rule.